Good morning, everybody. Today, our challenge passage is Matthew chapter 5, verses 38 through 42, where Jesus says this. He says, "You have heard it was said, eye for eye and tooth for tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to them the other also. And if anyone wants to sue you and take your shirt, hand over your coat as well. If anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles. Give to the one who asks you, and do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you." Okay, let's take that one piece at a time here. So first, Jesus says, you've heard it was said, eye for eye and tooth for tooth. And I'm guessing that is a phrase you've probably heard at some point in your life, right? An eye for an eye. But stop there for a second and let me ask you, when you hear that phrase, what does that mean to you? Because I think usually we think of it in terms of, well, if you hurt me, I get to hurt you back, right? It's some sort of revenge thing. But if you look at the passages from the Old Testament where that phrase actually comes from, you find something very interesting. If you want to look them up later, I encourage you to do so. It's Exodus 21, 22 through 25, Leviticus 24, 17 through 20, and Deuteronomy 19, 15 through 21. But if you read those, what you find out is actually this idea of eye for an eye was about seeking justice in an orderly way. The point was that breaking the law has consequences, and the goal was to purge evil from among the Jewish people. Because the Bible does tell us, even in the New Testament, in places like Romans 13, there is a place for justice, right? Justice is okay with God. It was even established by Him. He is a God of justice. And see, that really is what an eye for an eye was supposed to be about, justice in the community, not personal revenge. Personal revenge has no place with God if you read the Bible, right? God tells us it's His job to take care of repaying people for what they do, not our job as individuals. He may use individuals that are authorities that He's allowed to be in place, but again, it's about justice and order. And justice where, yes, you have the right to fair compensation if you're wronged by someone else, but fair compensation, understand it. You can take an eye for an eye, but you don't get to take more than that, right? You don't get to kill someone because they took your eye. You don't get to beat someone senseless because they knocked out a tooth. But justice, well, yeah, you have God's permission to do that. Though as Jesus is saying here, it's even better to pursue something else. In fact, he says, I tell you, don't resist an evil person, right? If someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. In other words, rather than increase the violence that's already being done, why not end the violence with you and show your moral strength instead? And if someone sues you and wants to take your tunic, he says, let them have your cloak as well. The idea there is probably of someone who is so poor, all they have left are the clothes on their back, and someone is going to sue them for that, which probably even isn't a justified suing. But Jesus says, hey, someone does that to you, someone wants to take the clothes off your back, exceed their demands. Give them everything till you're naked. Why? Because that's what will expose just how evil the other person's actually being. Right? And if someone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them 2 miles, Jesus says. What's that about? Well, we're not sure exactly how that would have looked historically, but apparently there was this principle back in the first century there where the Roman Empire could just suddenly force you to help them do something. Like if you're just going about your day, suddenly they could say, Matt, you need to drop whatever it is you're doing, whatever your plans are, and help carry these boxes for the emperor for the next couple of hours, starting now. I mean, as you can imagine, that was something people hated. But Jesus says here, hey, when that happens, be generous. Go above and beyond what they ask. Why? To change the situation. To change it from a Roman official who probably hates that he has to deal with you, and to change your heart from hating to have to do what he's asking, hating. What if you change that to at least creating the possibility that some positive human interaction could happen between the two of you? And give to the one who asks you, and do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you, Jesus says. The idea there being you're giving and lending to someone who's fallen on hard times. When you see someone in need, instead of living like, stinks to be you, what's mine is mine, and I'm keeping it, Jesus says, no, be generous, right? So as far as our challenge for today goes, where can you be like that out there in the world? Right? As Romans 12:21 says so well, instead of being overcome by evil today, where can you overcome evil with good? Wherever it is, Jesus would say, do it.